top of the hour now, so we'll get this call rolling. We're officially on the air now. And thanks for being here, everybody. Ian and Katie, thanks for joining me as our panelists today. We've got some important information we're going to share on, anti-aging, age reversal, whatever you want to call it. And then we're gonna talk a little bit about building your immune system and share some information about the products that we have over here at Sisel, because even though we have the Mega Immune, and you hear a lot of people talking about the Body Shield, you hear people talking about Influence and Terminator, you hear people talking about Avenger. There's a lot more to immunity than just taking products.
Much more.
A lot more to it. So even just exercising, helps build your immune system.
100%.
So if you're locked indoors, get outside, go for a walk, right? And take your dog for a walk. Let your dog take you for a walk, whatever it happens to be. Some people have dogs that take them for a walk. I get to watch that out my window every single day out here. But you know what I mean, Katie.
Yeah, because Buddy yesterday, he took me for a walk. He was sniffing so hard. I was like, woo, and he was just pulling. I don't know. It was going crazy. So yeah, he was walking me yesterday.
He was walking you, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. But it's a scary time right now. I think a lot of people are afraid of the disease, and what it could do to them. My brother just called me, half an hour ago, 45 minutes ago, and he was talking about it. He's down in Minneapolis. He's got 2 young girls, and he's worried about it. And my boys, they're in. My other son, Zach, he's out in Spokane. Washington is one of the hardest hit states in the United States as well. So I got 2 of my 3 boys living in 2 of the worst areas. And, but I'll tell you, my thought on it is, we're all going to be exposed at some point.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I mean, Ian, don't you think that eventually the virus is going to get around to everybody?
Well, I think they're statistically saying that's going to happen, but
yeah.
Once again, if you keep isolated, I think you've got a good chance of not contracting it.
But you can't be like that forever. Even after it's like the isolation period's finished.
Yeah, then it'll be around for years and years and years. And so you got to get your body to eventually build natural immunity. But what we want to do is we want to the whole idea behind the quarantine and that is really just to keep people from spreading it too quickly, so we don't overload the hospitals. We don't overload the medical systems, because they only have limited breads, they have limited supplies, and while this whole thing is going on, we still have people that are having strokes and heart attacks and diabetes and cancer and all those other things. And so all of the hospital beds that were used for those still have to be used for those.
Absolutely. Yeah, I saw some statistics just recently where they were showing a graph, and what we're looking at here, this is from a medical point of view, is if the spike is nearly vertical on the spread of it, then most countries, including ours, won't be able to cope. So we have to flatten that curve, so it's actually a gradual build up, and so then we'll be able to cope. But at the moment, we're on a pretty vertical trajectory, so we have to do something to contain it, and that's isolation. I think that's the best track at the moment. Yeah, we'll still have something after it, but I think that therein lies the situation.
Yeah, and so the reason that we're going to talk about immunity tonight is really, how do you lessen your chances of being the statistic, the 1 out of 1,000 or the 1 out of 100 that gets sick, right? We want to make it so that all of you are as healthy as you possibly can be. And like we were talking about, exercise, mental clarity. You notice that when remember back when you were in college and you had to cram for a test, and you all of a sudden you'd get a cold, you'd get sick.
Yeah.
Stay up too late, too many late nights.
Yeah. Mental stress will cause problems. So anyhow, Katie, you were sharing with us that that Sisel on the previous call just an hour ago, they were sharing why the New Zealand warehouse will be open, will remain open. Why will Supernaturals will remain open? Can you discuss that a little bit for everyone?
Yeah, so 3PL, which is also called Geodis, it's just the name of the company. They're a logistics and shipping company. They're a company that's located in Auckland, New Zealand, and they have the warehouse, and they, hold product not just for Sisel, for other companies too, and they're in charge of shipping it all out and directing it. So because they're classified as logistics and shipping, according to the New Zealand government, they are an essential service and are allowed to continue to operate whilst everything's in lockdown. So we're all good from that end. And then, Kurt, it was music to my ears this morning to hear Tom Senior say that, first of all, he said, oh, Utah's in lockdown. I was like, oh no, because that's where the Supernatural Sizzle factory is that makes our product. But then he says, they have an exemption from the governor because they're going to be considered as an essential service and allowed to keep manufacturing because the supplements they're making are needed to help people with their immune system. So we're good from both ends now.
Excellent.
So it's fantastic news.
Good. A lot of people,
Really,
they were worried about that. They were concerned on, what's going to happen, and all of a sudden their products are gone, and they, and we know, we can't make any medical claims or anything like that, but we know that these products are saving lives.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And they're just powerful support for the immune system, and we've got so many of them. So, and that's the other thing is, like, a doctor, if they prescribe someone to have vitamin D or a multi or a particular supplement, then it is required, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. So anyhow, we'll get back to that. We'll talk about immunity. What I want to do right now, I made kind of a quick video the other day. It's 3 minutes long, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of a fun video. Remember, when you're first contacting somebody, your whole intention is that you got to get them to say what, you got to get them to say why, you got to get them saying, just asking you a question, and you want to just raise their curiosity. So Ian, I know you haven't seen this yet. Katie's seen it. So she's kind of already laughing because she knows what it's all about. But I'm gonna share this, and Ian, I want your opinion on it.
Okay.
So yeah. So hang on one second. I just got this up here.
Make sure you share the audio, Dr. Kurt.
I did. That's why I had to go back. So.
There's no sound. Oh, there we are.
The three amigos of aging. What is senescence, and is it bad? In human cells, progressive telomere erosion ultimately exposes uncapped free double-stranded chromosome ends. This could trigger permanent DNA damage. The body's response is to put these cells into senescence, a sort of sleep. It protects the cells from further replication and passing on bad DNA to the daughter cells. Cells that are exposed to toxicity, radiation, other damage that causes mutations are also put into senescence. Senescent cells are pro-inflammatory. They have cellular matrix degradation capabilities and upregulate their own pro-survival pathways so they can resist programmed apoptosis, which is a programmed cellular death. Aging is a major predictor in human health. It can be used as an indicator on how well a person will respond to injury, illnesses, as well as certain medical treatments. Aging diseases are a major monetary factor, increasing the cost of healthcare. Historically, we've spent research dollars on working toward finding solutions for individual illnesses. If one single age-related disease was cured, it'd only be replaced by another. So this doesn't increase the quality of life, it doesn't increase the health span, and it certainly doesn't greatly increase the overall length of human life. We've been chasing the wrong Jesse James. Diseases related to accumulation of stem cells include COPD, atherosclerosis, glaucoma, type 2 diabetes, different neurodegenerative diseases, sarcopenia, pulmonary fibrosis, stroke, aortic aneurysm, emphysema, cirrhosis, endometriosis, and even graying hair. There's a new sheriff in town. Reduction in the total number of senescent cells in the kidney reduced the number of renal dysfunction in studies in mice. Other mice studies found that a reduction in the number of senescent cells in cardiac muscles reduced the amount of age-related cardiac hypertrophy. A decrease in the number of senescent foam cells decreased the amount of atherosclerosis seen in the arteries. Changing the number of senescent cells can change the outcome. Isn't it about time that you heard about senolytics?
Great.
What do you think of that, Ian?
Excellent. Very good.
You notice I didn't mention Sisel. I didn't mention the product Stemolytic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And-
just
And the reason I did that is because I want you to be able to say, you know, I'll come up here and I'll say, hey, Ian, watch this quick 3-minute video for me,
Yeah.
right? And it's going to get your attention because it has the music from, you know, an old Western movie and with Clint Eastwood,
I had my favorite Westerner on there.
right? Yeah, I just was goofing around the other day. You know, this is what I'm doing with my free time while I'm being self-quarantined,
Yeah.
my favorite bit was the dog with the hat, Kurt.
right? I thought you'd like that. I was going to go take a picture of Chewy and put him in my hat, but I just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it poses a lot of questions, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, you know, you'd want to ask, you know, how do I, you know, affect and get these diseases under control? So it's, people have any one of those diseases you mentioned. So
Yeah.
it would be,
And there's so many more diseases
Yeah.
that it covers too. But you know, I showed somebody this product the other day and they said, well, you know, what's it for? And I said, well, it's for senescence. And they said, what's senescence? And all of a sudden I realized, you know what? We're way ahead of ourselves. We're showing people the product and we haven't even told them what the disease is yet.
no,
Mm.
no, you need to describe it.
Yeah, so that's why I kind of went through and I listed some of the diseases. You notice that, you know, for all of you that were paying attention to the slide, it mentioned a certain word on there that we're not supposed to mention, but I didn't include it in the audio.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought I did hear it in the audio.
It's not in the audio.
Okay.
No, you read it and you thought you heard it,
Ah, well, that's clever.
Right.
Mm.
right? Because we can't mention that certain C word, you know, because that's when they, you
I
know,
thought you
regulatory
skipped over
bodies
it.
start to come
Yeah.
after you and now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, it's the study of the science of senolytics is so interesting. If you're watching my posts on Facebook the last couple of days, I've just been putting little factoids out there,
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
a couple little lines every so often,
Mm.
and just saying, hey, you know, this is what senescence is, and if you can keep repeating those to people, pretty soon they're gonna start reacting on it. They're gonna start
Mm.
saying, hey, you know, what can you do about it? You know, you've been talking about this. What can you do about it?
Well,
But if you
Kurt-
throw
sorry,
But
go
if you throw your Sisel website out there at the same time that you do it, they're just going to think you're trying to sell them another product.
on.
You got to get them to chase you, become the hunted rather than you being the hunter.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw Dr. Kurt Tom put 2 testimonials on Stemolytic up yesterday. Did you see it?
I saw that.
I've got one here. It's from Mary Sisel. Been taking this product for 1 month. It works. I'm 50 and I look like I'm 20 until I look in the mirror. Ha ha. I feel great cleaning out the cobwebs in my brain. Senescent cells are connected to brain fog, so it possibly could be causing the cobwebs. So that was one. And then the next one I've got here, which was from Barbara Grindy. She says, I've been taking this product for over 2 weeks now. My focus seems to have improved and I feel like I'm staying on tasks until completion. Nothing seems too big or overwhelming. And through these busy times, I've not had anxiety. I'm even sleeping better. I notice changes in my dreams and they are good dreams. I have so much more energy. Looking forward to how I'll feel in next month.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we're a little bit early on really hearing some testimonials. I think, you know, it's going to be 3 months before we really start to hear testimonials because, I mean, you're cleaning up a system and then the body can actually start doing some of the repair. So it's got to clean the system. Then it's got to clear out those apoptotic stem cells, then it's got to go replace the stem cells with new stem cells, and then the new stem cells got to go to work.
I think that the clearance is conditional of age.
Yes.
Like as Tom mentioned before, when you're 20, you've got an abundance of stem cells and things like this, and the senescent cells would be minimal. 30, you're starting to gather them more, and 40, you've got lots more, and up to 70s and so on. You're very limited of what you have left. So getting rid of the senescent cells at that point is extremely important. Yeah.
Well, one of the questions that you're going to run into, people are going to bring this up. I've already had the question brought up to me several times. They say, well, if senescence is a normal biological function, and then we're going to take and we're going to get rid of the senescent cells, aren't we basically working against the body's own natural system? You will run into that question. And the answer to it is this. I spent some time researching it. And the answer to it is that our product is designed to work with the body. Basically, it's adaptogenic, which means that we're not going to force the body to do something that it's not supposed to do. And where the drug, Dastatinib, that they're using, which is the chemo drug, that's what they're doing all the studies on. So when you see my research or my factoids, it's on research that they've done with Dastatinib, which is it's a chemo. And the problem with that is that it's forcing your body to remove these senescent cells. And that's the big difference, because if you're not forcing the body to do it, it's not going to get rid of the senescent cells that it needs, because we need senescent cells for fibrosis, which is scar tissue, right? I mean, if I cut myself, fibrosis starts, and that's stimulated by stem cells. And what happens is that at a certain point, you don't want that scar to keep growing. So the body turns that fibrotic tissue into senescent cells. And that stops the replication. That's what the senescence does. And so if you stop that, then you're going to have problems, right? And so with our product, we're not going to stop that from happening.
No.
And it's like what you said, Kurt, that the drugs force, and so the supplements allow, and adaptogens allow the body to do what it wants. And that's why with a drug, you have a long list of side effects, because in the process of forcing the body to do this, now you're having a whole list of consequences, hence side effects. With ours, you don't see a list of side effects.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, some of the awesome studies that they're doing, I mean, they were showing, I was reading a study, it said that with people that had neurodegenerative diseases, which, Katie, I mean, you're pretty familiar with neurodegenerative diseases, because of your dad. And they're saying that when they used Dastatinib and Guisertin on those people that had neurodegenerative diseases, they started to see changes in weeks. In weeks, they start to see the changes. And so when Barb says that mental clarity, that fogginess was gone, I'm not doubting her. I'm not saying, hey, it couldn't have happened, but because we're using a natural product versus a drug, it might take a little longer to really see it.
Well, Tom's, really proud of the fact that he's got therapeutic doses of all the ingredients in there. So.
Oh, and when you compare it to anything on the market, because all of a sudden, I mean, a year ago, I barely heard about senescence and senolytics and all that. And then in April, Mayo Clinic, which is just over the river from me, they start 3-hour drive from here. They started talking about the studies that they were doing with Dastatinib, which is the chemo, and all of a sudden everybody's talking about senolytics. I mean, it's everywhere now, and you go on the literature, it's everywhere, and all the other companies that are trying to produce a natural product, their product is so weak in comparison. Like the one product, it's not much cheaper than our product. It uses one ingredient. It uses Ficitin, and instead of using the full dose like Tom uses, it uses 100 milligrams. So you'd have to take 5 times the dosage of what they're recommending just to get the dose of the one ingredient that we have. Just one ingredient.
And that just point in case shows the quality of the Sisel products and why we all love them and why people get such great results.
That's right. That's right. So pretty amazing stuff. Just, folks, don't make any medical claims on it. You don't say cure and treat and things like that. Just, when you look at the studies, remember the studies were done on dasatinib, which is the chemo drug. And so when you find those studies, when you see me post those studies, then what you want to do is you want to just basically say, here's the studies on senolytics, and then, bring up later on, don't bring it up in the same conversation about our product, because otherwise you're kind of violating the laws of DSHEA, Dietary Supplement Education Act, right? So you just say, this is for educational purposes, this is for sales, right?
Yeah,
Wax on, wax off.
absolutely.
All right. So let me, Katie, I have this sheet, this tear sheet on the on the Mega Immune Pack, or this one here. Is that what you have?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Can you zoom it in a bit, Dr.
Yeah,
Joe?
that's what I was going to do. That's why I wanted to use mine, because I can zoom it in. So folks, I'm going to go through these. This is a sheet that you can get. It's in your back office. And it came from the Sisel Scoop. And basically it goes through the different products that we have that boost immunity, that support your body's immunity. And so I'm going to go through these kind of individually and share some information on them, so that you know, right? Because again, it's not that you have to take products to have an immune system. The products just help balance it out and make it work better. So there you can see in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to talk about fucoidan. And fucoidan, it's got an ingredient that comes from a brown seaweed called lama mui. And it's a fucoidan is the name of it. And the National Institutes of Health has shown that fucoidan supports increased energy and enhanced immunity. Katie, have you heard that it can help with immunity like 300 times, 300%?
Yeah. So I've heard that particular ingredient, fucoidan, which is spelled Fucoidan, which you can look up on PubMed. Yeah, it says that it has shown in some studies. So as you said, Kurt, we can't make claims on our product, but if we're talking about the ingredients, yeah, and also if people just say it's called mother's milk in China, that says a lot.
Yep. And then the next product is Eternity. And folks, I'm just gonna make it as simple as I can when we're talking about Eternity. The studies on resveratrol, that's the active ingredient that's found in Eternity. The studies on resveratrol show that it supports healthy sirtuin gene activity. I was just reading some studies from the year 2000, so 20-year-old studies. That's when resveratrol, when a certain researcher at a prestigious medical university started doing his studies on resveratrol, and he said that it would support the sirtuin genes, and the sirtuin genes are the ones that repair damaged DNA, and damaged DNA will lead to senescence, and then your immune system is so busy trying to fight the senescent cells that it doesn't have time to fight the virus and the bacteria. So sometimes when people get really bad, stage 4 conditions, that's why they die from pneumonia and infections rather than passing away from the cancer itself.
Yeah.
Anything else that you guys want to add on resveratrol or Eternity?
Yeah, it's got a lot of other, aside from resveratrol being the main ingredient, it's got a lot of other extracts in there from fruits that have a lot of pigments in it that are really powerful antioxidants. So it's a power-packed liquid supplement.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Spectrumax, the third one of the nutraceuticals, liquid nutraceuticals that we've got in our triangle of life. It's got 74 essential trace minerals, and according to Linus Pauling is the researcher that He got 2 Nobel Prizes, but he did a lot of the work on vitamin C. But he said that if you have a chronic health condition, chances are you're missing some of your essential trace minerals. And I've never seen another product on the market. I've never seen a mineral product that has as many trace minerals as what we have in this product here. Have you guys?
No.
No.
I mean, Tom's old products he used to make in his previous company, but this isn't certainly an upgraded version of that.
Yeah.
That's
This
right.
is an amazing product, Kurt. It's having fulvic acid that actually is taken from how the plants assimilate minerals into their system and help fight viruses. But in this case, he's put it in this product, and that actually helps you to actually assimilate the minerals and vitamins into your body. It's like a chelation process, but extremely strong, extremely good.
Oh, that fulvic acid is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, and we'll talk about it more on Body Shield, I guess. So I won't start talking about it.
No, it's all right. Just it was in there.
Yeah. Well, and then now we get to influence, and I never really before this virus, I never really took influence because I just don't get sick, and I always thought, well, I'll have some on hand in case I get sick, but I never really used it. It's got a lot of the same active ingredients as products that we see on the market that are designed to support your body's defense against fighting viral infections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also the most affordable Sisel product.
Is it?
Yeah, it's around $30 New Zealand, not including GST.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are getting a bargain on products right now with your dollar being weak. Hey, Ian, I ordered 2 bottles of Stemolytics up here.
Yep.
And shipped it. And then I ordered 2 bottles down in Australia, and I shipped it. And it cost me $20 less in Australia than it did up here.
Must have been the shipping.
Yeah.
Yeah, $20 less.
Yeah.
Kurt,
You must have expensive shipping in the US, there.
I guess.
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty good. Sorry, Katie.
That's all right. I was just going to say with the compass, so we're talking about immunity and how this relates back to immunity. My doctor was telling me the other day, if you don't have sufficient, of the B vitamins, particularly the B12 and folate, then your white cells can be enlarged, and it can also drop which drops your immunity. So I'm just trying to think of the actual cells, what the ones, leukocytes, is it? I can't remember because I'm not a doctor. But basically, he said a lot of that can be related to B vitamin intake. And so people don't think about that. But when we're talking about immunity, if you don't have sufficient B vitamins in your diet and you're not absorbing them, then your immune system would be compromised, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
that's right.
Absolutely. Also in this product, Katie and Kurt, the B3 is implicated in our cellular operation too. It helps turn on some of the things that when we actually transfer our DNA and things like that. So it's actually extremely important that we have this.
Yep. So important. And it's designed to kind of complement the other products, it's with the ingredients, the way they designed it. Tom Jr. actually worked on this. I think if I remember right, didn't he work on this formulation like for 2 years?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just to get it so balanced out with the other products.
Yeah, because he's designed it to take it with the Spectramax.
That's right. And I know you guys can't officially get CBD down there, but CBD is a great product. They find that it helps to calm the body, and like I said, when you're stressed out, your immune system gets stressed out. It doesn't work as good, and so CBD helps with the immune system. It has a neuroprotective support as well.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Yep. Great product. And then Balance D, 70% of your immune system is found in your digestive system. It's found in your gut, and the microbiome of the gut. And you know, a lot of people, they don't really think about it, but your digestive system is the outside environment on the inside of your body. And so you have to have that protection from the outside environment. And so your body develops kind of a mucus layer, and that mucus layer is made up of healthy bacteria, healthy funguses, healthy yeast, and things like that, that keep the bad guys from getting in. So it's your first line of defense. When you hear people saying, oh, you got to wash your hands a lot. Well, think about it. You touch something, you eat it, it gets down your gut. Well, if your mucus layer is healthy, if the probiotics are healthy, they're not gonna let that bad virus get in it that way. On the inside of your lungs, you've got the same microbiome, the same kind of microbiome. You got a mucus layer inside of your lung. Inside of your bladder, you got a mucus layer. Inside of your kidneys, inside of your liver, inside of your pancreas, inside your nose, inside your throat, inside your ears. There's this mucus layer lining all of those different things. And so Balance D helps out with all of that.
Absolutely.
Just everyone listening, Kurt, you said microbiome. Can you just explain that word for people?
Well, a microbiome basically means that it's like another environment, it's another world. It's a tiny, you know, micro means tiny, and so it's a tiny little world of these little microbials that are living inside your system to protect you, and they work synergistically with your body.
Mm-hmm. Balance D keeps that balance in check too, doesn't it? It keeps the good bacteria in excess of the bad bacteria. So
that's right.
Mm.
Very,
of course,
very
the worst thing, like if you just take that and you've got a really high sugar diet, yeah, it's going to help, but you're going to kind of counteract if you're filling your system full of lots of sugar.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Your bad bacteria.
You know, and the nice thing about fulvic acid is it creates a good environment for the healthy bacteria to live in. So the two of them really work good together too. If you go back to some of the recordings that we've made in the past, you'll hear me talking a lot about how Balance D and fulvic acid work together.
Yeah.
Katie, you want to talk about Avenger a little bit?
Yeah, so Tom Senior developed this product originally to help and support people who are suffering from Lyme disease, which is when they've been bitten by a tick and they get a bacterial infection in their body, have to go to the doctors and they get given antibiotic after antibiotic and it doesn't seem to shake it. This particular product can come in and support the immune system and support the body in the fight against that bacterial infection. But Tom Senior said that this product provides a multifaceted support against not only bacteria, your body's fight against bacteria, but also support your body in the fight against viral agents as well. So, it's got a synergistic combination of Chinese herbs, which are really powerful. So you can have a look at the fact sheet and look at the ingredients and do a little bit of research on each of those. And I think you'll be pretty amazed at what some of that research brings back regarding those ingredients. And he's combined them together. Now, it used to be called, before it was called Avenger, Kurt, wasn't it called Immune?
Immune.
Yeah, it was called Sisel Immune.
FDA made him change the name of it.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah. One of the ingredients that I talk a lot about that's in Avenger, it's something called monolaurin. And monolaurin, what I like about it, it melts that biofilm. And biofilm is a sort of a camouflage that your bacteria and the bad guys, the bad bacteria, the bad viruses, the funguses, all that, they discovered way back in the 1940s that these bad microbials produce this biofilm or this camouflage, and that's why your immune system has a hard time killing off some of these bacteria, because they produce such a good camouflage that the immune system can't recognize that there's something wrong. And so monolaurin melts that biofilm off so that the immune system can go after it and effectively fight it. So another way that our product helps support your body's own immunity.
Yeah. This is Ian's favorite one.
Oh, Body Shield is? I'm going to talk
Shield.
about it, Ian.
Absolutely. I think in the present climate that we have now, I've been sort of doing a little bit more research on it. I take it myself. My family does. It's a product that actually has the ability or helps the body to have the ability to actually control viruses, and it does it by a very simple method. It's a brilliant product. The chemistry in it is really amazing. Tom has done an amazing job with this product. I think it's really important that we all embrace this product at the moment, along with a few other things, but this is really important in helping the body to control viral infections. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much
Yeah,
should people be taking? Sorry.
I was just going to say that I started talking about this product probably 5 years ago because I thought it was so important back then, because we're not only getting hit by viruses and things like that, but we're getting hit by radiation. If I fly from here to London, it's like getting I think I read like 8 chest x-rays. That's how much radiation you get. And Body Shield has that fulvic acid, and it's able to help protect you against the radiation damage. And again, we talk about that when we're talking about stemolytics and things like that, that the radiation damage causes DNA chromosome mutation. And so this fulvic acid is able to help protect you. It's by supporting your body's own immunity that way. A lot of scientists are actually considering it to be a miracle molecule because of how it works, how it'll pull vitamins and minerals into the cell, and then as after it's dropped off, it's transported, the good stuff in, it'll pick up the bad stuff and pull them out.
Absolutely.
And Katie, you asked me how many should you be taking? For a healthy person, 2 a day. I give it to my dog. My dog takes 2 a day as well.
Yeah.
And Chewy has 2 a day. If you've got something wrong with you, maybe you got an immune challenge, you've got a pre-existing autoimmune problem, you might want to bump this up. You might want to double it up.
Yeah.
This one's been getting a lot of attention over the last year, hasn't it?
Yeah, H2.
Yeah.
It's not just
everything that we talk about is just it needs energy. I mean, how do you drive the machine if you don't have fuel? This is pure energy. This is pure fuel for the body.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And Kurt, the other thing that's really amazing about this product is, it's got a good dose of magnesium. I mean, so many people are magnesium deficient, and if you're a woman and you're busy, then you're, I think, more susceptible to magnesium deficiency because stress increases the need for magnesium. And what's amazing about magnesium is it actually helps to calm the nervous system. It helps to support the body with aches and pains, cramping, all sorts of things. Magnesium is really an amazing nutrient. So in addition to combining it with the hydrogen and the extra oxygen, it's a really powerful product.
That's right. The other day I did a conference call with some people, and they were talking that somebody in their community had gotten infected with the coronavirus, and they started taking the H2 the next day, and they started seeing some changes right away with it. And after listening to Tom talking about it on one of his subsequent calls, he said that because hydrogen is the smallest molecule, it'll pass right through the cell walls, not just of the human body, but it'll pass through the cell wall of the virus. And when it does that, viruses have a pre-existing charge to them. And what happens then is that when you get them exposed to the hydrogen, it neutralizes their charge. So that in itself will cause the apoptosis of the cell. Hello. Hello.
Sorry. Sorry, apologies.
That's all right. But so you can see that's the products that Sisel included in this Mega Immune Body Balance sheet. But I think that there's 2 other products that I really want to talk about. One of them is called For Restore. And the reason that you want to bring this one up when you're talking about immunity, they found that nitric oxide, which is what's produced when you take L-arginine, is it also helps out with supporting the body's immune system. It helps out with immunity. supporting the immunity. And then Super Omega, because, you know, if your body's fighting inflammation, there's no way that it can effectively fight infection. And so I think Super Omega is really, really good because it's got the EPA, and we need that to keep the inflammation down, especially in the gut, because, you know, that's where 70% of your immune system is found.
Yep,
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So anyhow, that's kind of our presentation for tonight. Katie, did you have any other information you want to share?
No, just to recap, we're all good. You know, Sisel's essential service. Their manufacturing their products is considered essential in their state in the US. So they'll be continuing, and our shipping in New Zealand will continue as well. They're essential service. So we're all good, just to recap. So I think now's a really great time because we've got so much attention now. People are extra interested in their health. All of a sudden it's jumped up the priority list. I mean, for us all on the call, it was already a priority, but now for others who maybe it wasn't, it's now become more of a priority. And the business opportunity is fantastic because as Aaron, if you have seen that video that Aaron put out, the Sisel, you know, why Sisel now, that was just released yesterday or the day before, he said that, you know, network marketing in time of economic hardship actually thrives. People are looking for opportunity to generate some extra income. And, you know, a lot of stuff's now going online. So we just have such a fantastic business for this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Harvard put out something a couple weeks ago that said pretty much the same thing. They didn't say network marketing, but they said it's a great time for entrepreneurs to get to work. You know, and really honestly, folks, you know, the world's not going to go back to the way it was. I was talking to my brother. He used to work. He'd drive half an hour to 45 minutes across Minneapolis to get to his place of work, and through heavy traffic. And now they got him working at home.
Yeah.
They found that he can do his work from home.
Yes.
Guess what? He's
They'll
not going to be
stay
going
there.
back to the office.
No, because they're going to save, all those businesses are going to save money on overheads, and they don't have the insurance for the employees being at work and being injured and all these different things. And so it's much more cost effective for a company to allow the employee to work from home. And that's going to be, you know, continuing. I know a lot of workplaces before this happened were kind of going towards that way to kind of encourage people to go home a bit more. But some companies were like, no, I think you should still come into the office. Now it's like, well, everyone go work from home. And yeah, it's amazing. So it's really now a shift, a big shift, which I don't think it'll change back too much. A lot of people will want them to keep working from home.
And there'll be a trickle down effect because of that. If I'm working at home, I'm not going to go out to eat. So all of a sudden the restaurant business is going to go down, right? You're going to be selling less gasoline, less petrol. And so all of a sudden you're going to be, you know, less people sitting at the service station. You're going to have less of this and that and all these other things. So we're going to, people, it's going to change the economy.
But other services will go up, Kurt. So, you know, home delivery will go up through the roof. More courier services will go up. Anything that can be done online, that will increase.
That's right.
Home shopping.
So we've got the ultimate home-based business right now. Why not teach people how to do it? And if nothing else, I mean, if you want to get another job later on, you want to be a stockbroker or whatever, you know, getting your training with Sisel, getting your training, you know, getting your feet wet, you know, this is a great place to do it. Man, you might find out, like we found out, this might be where you want to stay for the rest of your life. I mean, holy cow, do I enjoy it?
Absolutely.
So just chewy.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys close it out. Thanks everybody for being with us tonight, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And let's just keep the world healthy and vibrant, and give them some good positive news that we've got something for them. We got a way that we can help their economy. We've got a way that we can help them so they stay healthy. And after this thing's all over, let's show them that we can live healthy for a long time, not just for short periods of time.
Absolutely.
Great. Thanks, Kurt.
Thanks.
You want to close out, Ian?
Sorry?
You want to say goodbye to everyone?
Goodbye. Thank you for being on the call. Absolutely fantastic to see you there. See you next time. Bye.
Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great week. End.